Yesterday I read a post which was a depiction of the devil offering a wish, to grant a wish to three monks, and the first monk wished that all the devilish acts that had been done in the past were wiped out, were wiped clean. All the discord that had been created in the past had been wiped out. And the second monk then wished for a cornucopia of the future, that there is no devilish acts in the future. And the third monk got down on his knees and he prayed to God for deliverance and strength to fight against temptation. And as he did that, the devil disappeared in smoke. That's what we're going to get into right now. Hi and welcome to Oaklaw Door. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claratio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you. And that post yesterday really touched me. It really embedded itself in me, and I probably butchered. I mean, it was it was written much better than what I just described it, but it really brought home how in our righteousness we can be giving into and do, because we're all guilty of it, give into temptation. And we step away from our hope, our faith, and our trust in the divine, in the process, in God, in Allah, in a higher essence, a higher knowledge. The minute we try to change the past, the minute we try to control the future, we are stepping away from that faith, from that hope, from that trust. It's massive. And we, as I said, we've all done it. We've all been there. We have all undertaken an action, a thought process. We've chased a dream, guilty as, of changing the future for the better. And in doing that, we're giving into the temptation. Now, there are certain things we cannot change, and as I say that, the serenity prayer comes in. Give me the strength to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. And I think that's a key thing here. And it's definitely one of the big energies that are coming through with today's full expansion of the Lion's Gate. The word that keeps being given to me is intentionality. That reminder that everything we do, say and think should be done so with intentionality of creation, that co-creation with the divine. Where do we want to take ourselves? What do we want to co-create into our lives? What do we want to bring to us? And that is the other thing that I'm being shown very, very clearly, is that stepping away from feeling that we need to chase, and sitting back intentionally with stillness, the focus on the breath, and pulling what we desire towards us, magnetizing it towards us. That has been a big part of my journey. It took me a long time to, not to learn it, because I mentally, academically, I could really understand what was going on there. I could understand the quantum physics of it, the energetics of it. What was hard was my own inner talk, my own inner demon of allowing myself to be in that stillness when I also had the visions and the nudges from spirit of what I was to co-create, to make those changes, the parts that I can do, knowing the parts that I can change. It was hard, because it's a lifetime of programming, a lifetime of hearing phrases, and especially coming from the coaching world, nothing is given to you on a plate. You need to keep getting up and going out there, and getting up and going out there, and getting up and going out there. There is no failure, it's just learning experiences, and all of that is true. But we also need to give ourselves the place and the space to sit and energize, bring in the energies of the co-creation, bring down divine, and sit and breathe and allow it to permeate, allow it to come into natural fruition. If you plant a seed and then you're standing over it, intently watching it to grow, one 24 hours after another 24 hours after another 24 hours, you're gonna lose the will to live. You're gonna lose the momentum, because you think, is this thing ever going to grow? And yes, it is. It's doing what it needs in the unseen. That's the message coming through. Allow ourselves to dream big, but don't hold on to it so tightly that you suffocate it. Don't hold on to it so tightly that you have such a massive attachment to it that you have no focus for anything else. Plant the seeds with hope, trust, faith. And hand it over. If you have done, and again back to that serenity prayer, change the things you can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. So if you have made all the changes that you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, aka doing that inner work, if you've made all those changes, then it's time to step away. It's time to surrender, to have the wisdom to step away and allow the magic of the divine, of your co-creation, to start to germinate and then grow. And it's hard. It is hard. I shouldn't say it's hard. Hard is perceived as a negative. It's challenging. But it is hard. Okay, hard is a negative word, but it is. I found it exceptionally hard to learn to step away, to learn to not keep going back and having a little peek. Is it coming? Is anything happening yet? You've done what you needed to do. Pop that there. Anchor yourself back into gear. Connect with divine and go, okay, what's next? It's about planting the seeds. And many of the things, for many of us, there are some big projects that are being co-created that we possibly won't get to see in our lifetime. That's okay. That's called a legacy. It's not about the gratification. It's not about the end result. It's about the journey. And that is so cliche, but I hope what I've just said actually brings that into a perspective, that it stops being a cliche and it starts being a deep, deep knowing. It stops being about us and it starts being about we. There's a lot of chaos out there at the moment. We knew this was going to happen. We were saying in 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020, that 2024, because of the patterns, the cycles that we can see when we choose to look in humanity, we knew 2024 was going to be another chaotic year. We knew that there were going to be a lot of energies out there that needed transmuting, needed healing, needed illuminating. It didn't happen the way we thought it happened, and a lot of that is because there are so many more millions of people now enlightened that the trajectory was changed. The chaos has still been brought to our table, but it's been brought to our table in a different way. The decision that we get, the change that we get to make in that is, do we consume that chaos or do we chuck it in the bin? Do we eat rancid food at the table, knowing it's rancid but we're hungry? Or do we discard it, knowing that we deserve better, knowing, trusting that the divine will provide us a nutritious meal? Those are the changes that we can make. Changes in our choices. Changes and introspection on, do I have enough hope? Do I have enough faith? Do I have enough trust? And if we come up with a big fat no, unsure, could have a little bit more, then we sit. We sit in a sacred space and place. We anchor ourselves and have all the nurturing, unconditional love from Gaia, our mother. That unconditional hug, that safety net, that we are loved and we are nurtured and we are cared for. and we connect with the divine, our Father, and get given the guidance of what needs changing within us so we can build that trust, that hope, that faith, so that we completely and utterly refuse to eat the rancid food that is being put in front of us. And we step away from any trappings of temptation, from denser energies. The portal is in its full expanse today. I recommend that each and every one of you spend at least 10 minutes with those energies. And see what they bring forth for you. I will actually say at this point what's coming through and what has been coming through in a very big way, not just for myself but for many in the spiritual community, is there is a sense of unknown, and that's where the intentionality comes in. It's not about getting the guidance. Like in the past we've been told, right, okay, energies coming in are for Ekis, and we've had that and it's been very clear, and we've worked with it, we've stepped through that portal and we have ran with it for the next year. The majority of that work has been done. Those energies have been anchored. This now is about the co-creation. This now is, it's like a graduation. It's going from kindergarten, where you're being told what to do, how to do it, and then moving up to a more senior class where you're given choice, you're given options. We learn through the choices we make, and those are the energies that are coming through, and that's why it's so important to sit in that stillness with the support of Gaia, of heaven, and to assimilate the energies and what they mean to you. And then to sit and to ask, okay, what actions, what changes can I change? Knowing the things that I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. So what actions can I take today, tomorrow, next week, in a month's time, in a year's time? And that will change and that will evolve. But that is how co-creation is going. There will be temptation brought to us. It will be brought to our doors. You have to remember, the more light we anchor on the planet, the less space there is for those denser energies, and they're going to fight back because they are in survival. For much of humanity's existence, humanity has been in survival mode, and this is what we're changing. The polarities are flipping, and so you're going to have dense energies out there fighting for survival, which is why we are seeing such an increase of ish out there. Nasty ish. It's for you to have the wisdom to step away from it, for you to build the trust within yourself and your connection to divine, you to hold the hopes and dreams and wishes of what you want to create, that is to the betterment of all, including self. Sometimes, and as I said right at the very beginning, we've done things from a space of righteousness, but actually in that righteousness we have given in to temptation. There have been things that I have wanted to change of the past. It's not about changing the past. When we try and change the past, we're giving in to temptation. We're not trusting in the fact that that was a perfectly orchestrated map by the divine for us to walk so that we could learn. And it's the same in the future. If we try and control every facet, that micromanagement of how the future is going to pan out, we're not trusting. We're giving in to temptation again. We're not trusting in the divinely orchestrated plan. And it's what Spirit's showing me there with the future, and I've been guilty of it, is the, again, is an earthy analogy is the planting of the seeds. But you have all these, you have a big sack of meadow flower seeds, and yet you spend hours and hours, days and days, weeks and weeks picking out all the different species and then planting them in nice neat rows, rather than just digging your hand into the sack and sprinkling them on the fields. You tell me which looks more beautiful once they come into fruition. You tell me how a meadow should look. Because it's not in rows. It's not a segregation of species of flowers. And that's part of the chaos that's out there at the moment. We're seeing it globally. A segregation of the species. There was another post that I seen where a police officer actually told her daughter, she asked as a little girl why the woman next to her was black. And her father looked up and said, because the world would be a very boring place if we were all the same shape, sizes and colour. Just keep that in mind. It's the same as those meadow flowers. If you put them in nice, neat rows, segregated, you do not get the same visual, energetic joy as you do when they're all intermixed and grow naturally. Let's grow together. We've got massive opportunity here to make massive change. But the change needs to start with us. We need to build solid foundations of our hope, of our faith, of our trust that we will and can make the changes that are needed on this planet, and we don't get attached to seeing it in our lifetime. If you've liked the video, then hit that like button. If you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when a new video goes live. Enjoy the energies, enjoy this time, have the most wonderful Lionsgate, the most wonderful and joyous and communicative, and I mean that both verbally and physically. Get out in your community this weekend in a good way, in a happy way, in a joyous way. Balance the energies out. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.